Check out shares of Gap today. We've been watching them all day. Under pressure, down more than 4%, after Kanye West, now known as Ye, said he is terminating his deal with the retailer for failing to meet obligations in the agreement, including product distribution and opening Yeezy Gap stores. Joining us now to discuss, we've got a surprise guest for you, is Ye himself. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So talk to us about what happened here. Why are you terminating this deal with Gap?
Well, it was always a dream of mine to be at the Gap and to bring the best product possible to the masses. And I always talk to them about doing products for $20, like the best product in the world, designed at the same level of the top fashion houses in the world at $20 for the people. And so we went through 3 years, and honestly, there's always like struggles and back and forth when you're trying to build something new and integrate teams. So we designed an entire collection, and actually, I wasn't able to set the actual price that I wanted for this collection. And then they actually took one of the shirts and sold it for $19. So didn't price my stuff at like $200 and above their whole price point normally, and then did the exact shirt for $20. Also, they did pop-ups, and I signed on with them because they had, in the contract, they said they were going to do stores, and they just ignored us about building stores constantly, and it was very frustrating. It was very disheartening because I just put everything I had. I put, all of my top relationships. I went and got Demna, the head designer of Balenciaga, which is one of the hottest brands in the world, to come. He does couture, and with that relationship, he ended up, working on a Gap collection for me. There are a lot of things, colorways that I didn't approve. There's a lot of places that the product went to, certain sites where it was like they were just dog and pony and the idea around town. And sometimes I would talk to the guys, the heads up, the leaders, and it would just be like I was on mute or something. And they totally, our agenda, it wasn't aligned. And I know, my family, we're Garmentos. My family, we made the first Louis Vuitton bootleg jogging suits, and they used to confiscate the bags at LAX. That's actually literally my family that would cut up those bags and make jogging suits. We literally would make cross colors. Yeah, this is because people always think of things like the celebrity. This kind of, I wouldn't have been so influential in clothing language. I like that, but I like the word language better than aesthetic, because the language is a base. Aesthetic is just a style. It's a language that me and Virgil and Demna and Jerry Lorenzo and Matt Williams brought in streetwear, in this Mark Echols complex idea of what it is today, what high schools look like today. And everyone knows that, I'm the leader, I'm the king, right? So a king can't live in someone else's castle. A king has to make his own castle.
Well, you say that, and it makes me wonder what's the status of your Adidas relationship. I followed that for many years. I saw how you came in when the company was struggling in the U.S., and there was a big turnaround. By all accounts, it seems like Yeezy and Adidas has been a strong partnership, but lately you haven't sounded too happy about it. So they haven't responded to me. What can you tell us about where that stands?
Well, being that Casper was let go, they could take all the stuff they were involved in and just blame it on him, if that's what they want to do. But any of these relationships that I'm in, I have to have a say-so, on the colorways. They were doing colorways. They were naming things. They were sending guys in telling me, don't tell your audience that you didn't name that. And they were slowing down, my allotments, and then copying the ideas, some things took us 2 years. And it's not just the things you could see. They would take people from the team that did production, that was quality control. We did this shoe that this knit runner, and I told them this needed to be a marathon shoe, and it ended up being the most uncomfortable Yeezy ever on purpose. Changed it because anyone that's worn a Yeezy, they say, "Oh, this is the most comfortable shoe that I've ever worn." And then they also were supposed to do stores and never did stores. And this company grew like by 85% last year, and basically became, people could compare it to Jordan. And I 100% respect what Jordan did, but, Phil Knight's worth $50 billion or something like that, and Michael Jordan's worth like $4 billion or $6 billion or something like that. And this is the day of liberation right here. This is the day to not be just valued on my cash flow, to be valued on the equity that we bring. We've seen the influence that we've had on two Fortune 500 companies. Also, there's a lot of stuff where they have a lot of commitments to China, and when we wanted to do localized manufacturing, which is completely possible with some of the factories that I'm buying here in California, we can actually bring industry back to America. I feel that in a lot of ways, Europe has been the head of prestige and with the luxury brands and luxury vehicles, and China has been the head of manufacturing. But America, we invented rock and roll. We are the most inventive. We are the youngest startup ever, America itself. So, we invented Apple, we invented Ford, and now we have Yeezy here. And it's not going to be any board members that won't even pick up the phone that their kids are wearing my shoes that get the opportunity to just dismiss me this way. Like, for instance, like I'm moving my money from JP Morgan over to, Bank of America possibly, because I go and move $140 million over to JP Morgan. Jamie Dimon never calls me. I found out Gene Ulrich is one of the heads on the board at Adidas and one of the heads of the board at JP Morgan. So if they're already treating you a certain way at Adidas, it doesn't matter how much money you move over there, they're going to treat you like they meet you. And then people say,
she's the head of the Asia division, to be fair, at JP Morgan, I think. And yeah, she's a board member of Adidas. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's about the amount of information I have, because I can only find out about the board from what I can Google online, since I've never got to meet him. Even though, I've been the strongest partner that they've had. Yeezy is 68% of their online sales. And they've even gone and specifically hired people from my team to do collaborations to attempt to make fake versions or to try to dilute my message and to colonize, my audience, as opposed to empowerment. For instance, it's like a friend of mine, Jamie Salt, just bought Reebok. Reebok is worth less than Yeezy, but due to the positioning that I was in the contract, instead of us taking Reebok as the infrastructure for Yeezy, Jamie Salter is able to take that, and I'm over here sitting and, supposed to be this, little plant in the front of the little shop of horrors,
So we know Jamie, he comes on the show as well, Authentic Brands. He's done a bunch of deals. So I guess what I'm wondering, so it sounds like you're trying to break up with Adidas too, and it sounds like you're trying to forge your own path here when it comes to
I don't like
Yeezy.
the word. My mom said trying is failing. We're not gonna fail. We will succeed. We are succeeding.
So I'm trying to figure out what it is. So you're starting your own company, independent of other big corporations. Is that the plan?
Absolutely. I got to, I only have the resources I know. Like, I can sit with people. I can go and sleep at David Simon's house. I can go to Jamie Salter's ranch. I can go to Francois Pinault's house. I can go to Bernard Arnault's house. I can go to Elon. Elon doesn't really have a house anymore. I can go to Elon's house. But are people really handing over the information? So sometimes it's harder to find the information, especially, you gotta understand, it's like I'm operating like a 5X version of Bo Jackson or something. I'm like operating at the top in music, the top in influence, top in clothing, the the top in shoes, and now we're going to go in and become the top in real estate and the top in education. Where, my school, Donda, we're on our third year of school. It was started off as Yeezy Christian Academy that we opened during the pandemic, and we now we're on our third year, and this school is going to focus on bringing the American economy back, starting with our children. They try to say, oh, just stay on your phones, just do this. Well, we're not making practical. They took all of our practical engineering skills away from us. So we're focusing on engineering for our species. What's the thing we need the most? Food. Engineering food. And I'm telling you this as the answer being like, our focus is the school. My mom was an Albright scholar. Our new vice chairman, Sherman Peshawar, was appointed the head of the Albright scholars. So let me tell you what this curriculum is. It's engineering food, engineering automotive engineering, engineering shelter, computer hardware and software, financial literacy, and financial engineering. And shout out to Elon, rocket science, just so we could say, our kids understand. But that's the thing, the normal reading and writing and all the stuff that, the old guards 100 years ago put up for what our curriculum is. But now we live in this post-Steve Jobs world. Another thing, if you look at TikTok, like in Korea, it's got all kind of things. It's not just indoctrinating and sexualizing, children. It's actually educational. So we're really into the idea of embracing TikTok as an educational tool, because you're not going to be able to communicate unless you use the way the kids communicate. So a lot of schools are, hey, don't use technology in this way, and just only do that after school. America, we are the thought leaders, and there's a lot of strong Americans. Obviously, I'm a conservative also. I'm a Christian, and there's a lot of strong people who really believe in family and believe in monitoring the type of content that our children receive, and also monitoring the type of food that we receive. Go ahead. What are you saying?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. While we have you, we're showing the stock right now of Gap and Adidas, and Gap got hurt today on that news. And in general, it's been a struggling retailer. They lost the CEO, Sonia Singhal, the one who you, I believe, made the deal with to begin with, and they're trying to stabilize the overall business. You've always liked this company, and you talked about how you had high hopes for the partnership. Do you think that Gap can ever sort of regain its cool again?
They only have one opportunity to be able to be a big player. What do you think it is?
I feel like you're not happy with them today, so you're not going to be too optimistic.
No, I'm saying they have one individual on the planet that could save the Gap. And that individual, I'm asking you, who do you think it is? Sometimes the answer is sitting right in front of you.
Well, there was a lot of potential in this deal, but it sounds like you're terminating.
Well, don't bring a leader in and have them not lead. Why would I argue with people who are getting paid by the Gap? I'm sorry, I'm not going to argue with people that are broker than me about money.
Understood. Yeah, we thank you for the time today and for joining us on the show.
All right, the glasses are coming out soon. There we go.
We'll continue to follow the Yeezy story. No question about it. Kanye West or Ye. Thank you.